Axios Local is bringing smart brevity to a city near you. Local will deliver scoops, offer sharp insights, and curate the best local reporting. Our events, called Smart Take, will help readers better understand the most consequential news unfolding in their own backyards. With Local, we focus on what matters in your community.
Welcome to Smart Take, the future of live sports in Charlotte virtual event. I'm Katie Peralta-Soloff, Charlotte reporter at Axios, coming to you from Charlotte. Thank you to Bojangles for making this conversation possible on the future of Charlotte sports. Welcome to our audiences on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and on Axios.com. Please follow along using the hashtag Axios Events hashtag and at Axios on Twitter. Over the next 30 minutes, we will unpack how the industry has adapted to COVID-19 and what the future holds for teams, businesses, and fans alike. Our first guest is the Mayor of Charlotte, Vi Lyles, joining us from Charlotte. Welcome, Mayor.
Thank you for having me.
So, looking ahead, what role can and does the city play in ensuring a safe return to normalcy, including a safe in-person return to sporting events in Charlotte?
Thank you for that question because it's so important. We have to have the safety first and foremost in our minds because we need to have people come back to these events to participate in our sports industry, which means actually our hospitality industry. So what we're doing as a community is first, we have spent millions of dollars making sure that places can stay open during this past year. We've invested over $14 million in hotel and food and beverage and music venues so that it's possible for them to be here when things go back to normal, whenever that takes place. We've also done some things in terms of facility management. I'm very, very, very happy to know that we have a local business here, Global Plasma Solutions, that has done all of the air quality that's necessary for safety for people coming into our venues. All of the city-owned venues now have the air filtration systems that work for having people return to enjoy sporting events.
Excellent. So you might have actually touched on my next question, but maybe there's more. What adaptations that have occurred during the last year will permanently stick with how sports and entertainment venues operate in Charlotte in the future in the post-COVID world when we have full arenas and we have full stadiums?
Well, I think it's going to take a transitional time to get to full arenas and full stadiums. And my belief is that we will act to make sure that whatever transitional time we're in, we're going to test it, analyze it, and see what we can do better. But right now, I would hope is that we're beginning to think that we can return fans into the arenas and to our speedway. I'm looking forward to the May 30th race. At the Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm looking forward to the PGA golf tournament because they will give us a chance to make sure that our protocols are in place and adjustments can be made as a result of having this time where 30% of the venues can be filled with fans that are so excited to come back.
Do you have a sense of when it might be that North Carolina will allow full stadiums and full arenas in the future?
I don't know. I think that, again, what's really important about understanding this pandemic and the virus that caused it is that we are hoping that we can continue the vaccinations. And I have to give a real heads up to our sports partners. When you think about we've had mass vaccinations at the Speedway, at Spectrum Arena, at our home of the Panthers, at our Bank of America Stadium, when you think about all that they've done to be a part of fixing taking the opportunity to participate as partners in getting the vaccine out to the public, that's going to be a big influence. And so when we think about what we're going to be doing, we'll always do it in partnership with our sports industries.
Absolutely. From limited capacity at Bank of America Stadium with the Carolina Panthers to most recently, the Charlotte Hornets have been allowed to, have some fans at the Spectrum Center. What are what are some of the biggest lessons that you and other city leaders have learned since North Carolina began loosening restrictions on some of these sports venues?
Well, the lessons that we've learned is to follow the public health protocols, and that has been very successful. I believe that we've seen a number of opportunities nationally where sports venues have been managed and held. Just recently, we've worked with a film company for our local Delilah series to have people come in and film a series and do it with protocols that kept all of the crew, all of the folks that are on that set safe. I think that when you look at our sports industries, the arena, when you look at Bojangles and when you look at the Panther Stadium, those same protocols are in place. Right now, we estimate that 30% of the seats can be filled. And that's our first step. And then as the result of that, when we find out how that's working, perhaps there'll be the opportunity to grow more. And we will work with the governor's office and our public health officials to make sure that works.
Absolutely. So specific here to Charlotte again, how has the lack of live events, sports and entertainment in areas, like Uptown, close to these arenas, weighed on small businesses that normally rely on the traffic and the bustle that these events generate?
This has really been a challenging time for our hospitality industry, especially those facilities located within walking or the Blue Line ability for people to get to the events and the stadiums, to our arenas, to Bojangles, all of that. So we know that a number of industries, food and beverage, all of our restaurants, all of the places that you go after or before a performance, that has made a major impact. And when you think about our center city and the people on the streets and the vibrancy of all of that activity, that's what we want. Because all of this time that we've really followed the rules and the guidelines, and we've stayed away with the social distancing and wearing our masks, we still have to continue to do those things, but we also want to have the ability for people to go in and have a meal before an event or after an event. We want people to come to the arena ready to cheer on our favorite teams, anything that's got CLT in it. That's what we want. And so what I expect we will see more than anything else is continuing to follow the protocols, encouraging vaccinations, and getting people back into our hospitality industry, feeling that they have a ability to be safe.
Now, you touched on this at the start of the conversation, but some of the assistance that the city has provided to small businesses by way of grants and that sort of thing. Can small businesses in Charlotte expect another wave of that sort of financial assistance thanks to the latest stimulus package?
The new stimulus package is a little bit different, but I don't think that our priorities have changed. So while we will get a certain amount of money in year one, then we'll have a 50% in year one and 50% in year two of $175 million. I believe that our priorities have always been to keep our small businesses whole until they can come back, to make sure that people could stay in their housing and prevent homelessness. So that's been our focus. I expect that we will have some new ideas, because there are people that have done well and people that have done not as well. And so we're going to look at that. But I believe that, again, in this city, our values are to make sure that people can afford to live here and work here.
Absolutely. How can a return of fans to live sporting events in the future help further fuel Charlotte's long-term economic growth in your perspective?
Oh my gosh, first of all, just being the fifth fastest growing city in this country and the 15th largest city, sports are an integral part of what makes a community whole. We've known this because we're in North Carolina. We know we love basketball. We know we love football. We love racing and wrestling, all of those things. But what I would say is that we have to know and understand the dynamics of change as a result of this pandemic, and to plan for those the future in a way that we can be nimble and rapidly adjust to what's necessary. But I think the most exciting part of this is that when fans return, there's more economic opportunity for every part of our city and the hospitality industry to come back. How long it will take, I'm not sure, but I certainly hope and wish for the day that we have full arenas, full stadiums, and people are coming to the Speedway, that Bojangles is experiencing lots of opportunities to watch hockey, and the baseball stadium on a really great spring afternoon in Charlotte is a great place to be.
Vi, we only have a few more seconds, so I thought I would slide in just one fun one. What's one live sporting event or other entertainment event that you're looking forward to as things start to open back up?
Well, the Hornets are doing pretty well, and I haven't had a chance to see the star player, Mr. Bell, play, but I certainly would like to do that. And they're going to be playing, and I hope that people will come out and support us. But we've also got, just so many things going on. May 30th, when the race is going on, I hope that that's something that we'll see. And that's kind of like a regional thing. It's not just Charlotte. It's our entire region that believes in racing. But we are going to make sure that I can't even say it. LaMelo Ball is going to be Rookie of the Year this year, and I want to see him play.
Awesome. Mayor Lyles, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us this afternoon. This has been a pleasure, and I'm so glad that we got to connect. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Katie. Look forward to listening to how we can continue to build this city in a great way with all of our professional sports teams and activities.
Awesome. And next we have a view from the top segment with my colleague, Director of Business Development of Axios, Lizzie Sirkin.
Thanks, Katie. I'm Lizzie Sirkin, Director of Business Development at Axios Local. Now joining us from Charlotte, North Carolina, Chief Marketing Officer at Bojangles, Jackie Woodward. Hey, Jackie, thanks so much for joining me today.
Good morning, Lizzie. Great to be here. Thanks for having us, and thanks for letting us talk a little bit about our Bojangles famous chicken biscuits and tea right here in Charlotte.
Absolutely. Well, diving right in, you have a pretty robust career in the sports industry. How are you applying the skills and experience you gained there to your role now at Bojangles?
Well, so I've been at Bojangles here for just about 2 years now. And having come from big brands like McDonald's and Miller Coors that do a lot in sports marketing, it was really interesting to come to this brand that is regional but has such a strong passion with consumers and really has such a strong history in sports. So I inherited, a great brand that's famous for tailgating, that's famous for football, that's famous for racing. And really, over the last 40 years of our business here in Charlotte, we have really become synonymous with sports. We have sponsor almost all of the North and South Carolina colleges, whether that's Wofford College in Spartanburg or UNC in Chapel Hill or NC State or Appalachian. And so a really strong footprint of awareness. But what we didn't have yet, and what I had learned at some of my other big brands was what really set us apart, was that fan affinity and real fan engagement. And since we have passionate fans as Bojangles and sports teams have passionate fans as well, the real magic comes together when we marry that brand passion with the fan passion in a way that really lets consumers win and really lets consumers have fun with sports and our brand at the same time. So our agency is Genesco Sports Enterprises. And when I got here, we worked together to really put together what those activation plans might look like. So, a couple of good examples would be the Carolina Panthers Big Bow Box that you see with a lot of tailgating in the fall. The UNC promotion where when the Tar Heels score 100 points at a basketball game, everybody gets a free Bowberry biscuit the next day. These are the kinds of things that take that awareness and really tap into the passion to bring that to life for consumers.
Yeah, definitely. And, moving to the here and now, the sports industry was terribly impacted by the pandemic. How has Bojangles had to pivot, especially, like you said, being so closely tied to the sports experience?
Well, we quickly realized last year that if there wasn't going to be an in-person tailgating season, that there was a really great opportunity for us for home gating. So you can get Bojangles by delivery. And so we tapped into that in order to create a program we called Bring Me Bojangles. So on Twitter, on Sunday mornings of Panthers games, we would have a contest, hashtag Bring Me Bojangles, and you could enter to win and get a free Bojangles game day experience delivered to your house. It was a remarkable response from consumers and really played well in marrying that Panthers passion and the Bojangles passion in a way that consumers could engage with. The other thing that we did was we kicked off Panthers season, the very first home game in September, with a drive-through tailgate. So we had Tepper, we had music, we had giveaways at our restaurant in Midtown, and it was a really terrific way for us to celebrate the start of the season, which was a lot of pent-up demand for consumers, but to do so in a way that was respectful of the times, safe for consumers and our crew, and really tapped into, again, that joy and passion that is all about our product and the Panthers.
Yeah. And what are some of the obstacles that Bojangles is facing in trying to drive recovery efforts right now?
Well, we've had to be very, very careful for our crew, for our team members who are at the restaurants, to make sure that they are safe first and foremost and are working in a safe environment. And of course, then our customers' safety is also very top of mind for us at all times. So we've had to be really careful about when we open our lobbies and open our dining rooms. We are not fully open yet, and that's on purpose because we're taking every precaution to make sure that we are doing so being mindful of the safety of our guests and our team members. But we have a drive-through window. And that drive-through has gotten a lot of use. It turns out that big chicken dinners, that comfort food that brings a family together during these times, has been just what people were looking for.
I've been a patron of that drive-through window quite a few times myself. I can attest to that.
And we're delivering now too, and order ahead. So, there are lots of ways to use us that are keeping people at a distance, which is what they're looking for.
Right. And, zooming out quite a bit, what else is Bojangles thinking about from a global perspective?
Well, we are in a 10-state regional footprint right now, and so we're really focused on making sure that guest experience is right and that we get delivery, order ahead, and the drive-through really working well, keeping our products at the top quality that our customers expect from us are very important to us. And as sports comes back, tailgating is a real phenomena here in the Carolinas, and we're looking forward to that at the college level and at the pro level this fall. We'll work with our partners to make sure that we're doing so in a way that is respectful of the times. But we know people are really looking forward to a return to sports, and we want to be able to show them that fan engagement and affinity that I talked about as they bring their Bojangles tailgating experiences to life this fall.
Yeah. And, one thing I just wanted to quickly close on is your recent accolade from the Charlotte Business Journal. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, well, thank you. It's really an accolade for Bojangles and the brand and the things that we have going on here. Next week, I'll be honored as one of the top 25 business women in Charlotte. And again, it's just a testament to the leadership team here and the strides that we are making to make sure we're serving our customers a relevant and inviting experience every day.
Yeah, well, major congratulations on that. And thank you so much for your time today, Jackie. It's been a pleasure.
Well, we are so happy to be a part of Axios Charlotte and so happy to be a part of the Charlotte business community and so happy to be serving chicken biscuits and tea when and where people want it, especially as it comes to tailgating this fall and the things that we'll be doing around our sports partnerships.
Yeah, and major thank you to Bojangles for sponsoring today's event. Now to my colleague, Katie Peralta-Soloff.
Thanks so much, Lizzie. Our final guest is the president of Tepper Sports and Entertainment, Tom Glick, joining us here from Charlotte, North Carolina. Tom, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon.
Hi, Katie. It's a great day. Great to be with you.
Excellent. Well, we really appreciate it, and we're delighted to have you on today. So, of course, the Panthers have been busy during the offseason. I know that the team will be playing at Bank of America Stadium in person before we know it. And then just a few short months after that, Charlotte's Major League Soccer team will begin play, which is super exciting. I know Charlotte's been waiting for this day for, many years. So walk me through, how will the experience at Bank of America Stadium for a fan in person be different? How has the pandemic shaped what that experience will be like moving forward permanently?
You bet. And I agree with you. It is an exciting time right now. It's exciting to see everyone getting their, starting to get their vaccinations, us starting to open up safely more. As you know, we're right in free agency. The draft is coming up for the Panthers, and we're about 6 months away from swinging the doors at Bank of America Stadium for preseason games and regular season games. And we did this in 2020. And so we have a number of our fans that had that experience in 2020. But for so many of our fans, they watched at home, chose not to come. And we're very hopeful. While we don't know exactly what the numbers will be, we're hopeful that we'll be able to welcome more and more fans for the 21 season. We will be able to rely on a lot of the work that we did to get ready for 2020. And so for fans who are coming for the very first time, I think this will be a lot about refining the things that worked so well for us during 2020 when we had 6,000 fans coming in for Panther games. And it was really a reinvention of the experience. And we did it with the help of great partners, the city of Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, the state of North Carolina, tons of partnership, collaboration, consultation, and that will be vital that we continue that as we work to do more. But fans will experience a safe and clean building. And I think that's door number one, and door number two for us is we want people to feel safe. We want them to know that it's clean and well taken care of. We work very hard on enhanced cleaning protocols. Most of our building is outdoors, which is a real advantage for us, but we do have a lot of indoor spaces. So we have new systems for air quality monitoring. You probably heard about our germ zapping robots, which kept our locker rooms and meeting rooms and suites and corridors free of infection, and that was important. It's also become a much more digital experience, and I think part of helping people feel safe and healthy is knowing that in as many places as possible, it's touchless and it's cashless. So that's on entry. We were very fortunate that we went to digital ticketing, mobile digital ticketing in 2019. So most of our fans are already used to that. So that becomes a much smoother entry for people as they're arriving. And as our fans go to the concession stands, as they go to buy gear at the team store and kiosks, they will have an increasingly digital and touchless and cashless experience. I think that's part of what people will experience. At the end of the day, beyond safety and cleanliness, we still have a football game to play, and this is a shared experience and a coming together, and we want to create an amazing home field advantage. And so this is also about just allowing people to come in and feel safe and know that it's clean, and then just being able to root for the Panthers, enjoy their football. And we will really work hard to make sure that is at the center of everything that we do.
Yes. One thing you mentioned, hesitancy among some fans who might not have been prepared to come back in person this past season. Moving forward, as capacity inevitably will increase at sports arenas and stadiums around the state, are you concerned about hesitancy, kind of lasting hesitancy among fans and returning? In other words, could there be lingering apprehension that keeps a large number of people from returning to games in person?
Well, I think that this will be for everyone, I think, an individual decision. And we all have a role to play, and the Panthers and Tepper Sports and Entertainment have a role to play in that. That begins with vaccinations. And we've been working very hard. I'm sure you've seen with great partners, our state and county and city partners, fire and police, and our partners at Atrium Health and Honeywell in getting max vaccination events underway. This is just one more way. We've also gotten used to opening the building safely and with a smooth, great experience. But we will continue to do this and encourage others to do the same, so that more and more of the residents of North and South Carolina, the Charlotte region, are getting vaccinated, are safe and healthy and protecting themselves and protecting others. And then part of it will be communication. And I think if we work hard at those things and we continue to work to show people how attending a game at Bank of America Stadium is going to be just as enjoyable and safe and healthy, I like our odds of having big crowds coming back to see the Panthers.
What are the odds of this, pent-up demand that a lot of economists are talking about? Do you think that people are going to be really ready to bust out of their homes and open up their wallets once this is safe to do so?
I do. I don't know about you, Katie, but I continue to have countless conversations with people who are just ready. They're ready to socialize. They're ready to go out and spend time with other people. And this is what live sports and entertainment is about. This is a Panther game is also like a giant town meeting. It's a shared experience. It's a coming together. It's a chance for people to have fun, to smile, to cheer together, to have to be passionate. Moments of adrenaline, even we hope lots of moments of adrenaline provided by the Panthers, and so I do. I feel like people will be ready, and we want to meet them with a great experience when the Panthers are ready to play.
Could Tepper Sports and Entertainment or any NFL owners around the league require vaccinations for fans in order to return to full capacity whenever that is allowed?
I think this is an open question, and I don't know that there is a view, and this is a good example of a topic where we will consult closely with our league, the National Football League, and the other teams, but also really importantly with Governor Cooper, the Department of Health and Human Services for North Carolina, Mecklenburg County, and the city to figure out what makes sense. I think this is an open question, and we just don't know what the right answer is.
Right. So over the last year plus now, there have been countless non-sports events and festivities that have had to cancel or postpone at Bank of America Stadium, some, of course, multiple times, as you know all too well. What is the non-sports schedule looking like for this year and next?
Well, everybody's ready to come back out. And, we're starting, as you probably seen, starting to book and even announce some new dates for college football, new dates for concerts, and so we know that everybody is ready to go. We're doing our best to make sure that we're prepared when that happens, and I think it's exciting that this will happen because in addition to the shared experience and the events that everybody is looking to enjoy together, it's great for our economy. This the live sports and live events will drive people to Uptown Charlotte, will drive activity to Center City, the hotels, the restaurants, and other businesses. And so this is a great thing for our economy. It's definitely coming back. It's going to come back as soon as it's safe. And I think that we're awfully excited about the role that we can play in that. We have an ambition for Charlotte to become the hub, the premier sports and entertainment live music destination for the Carolinas. And at Tepper Sports and Entertainment, this is something that we're working to deliver for our region and the sports fans and the music fans, the football fans, the soccer fans. And, I think it's a really exciting time knowing that Bank of America Stadium will go from 2 years ago, circa 15 events and 1 million guests, to something that will probably be 3 times that by the time Charlotte Football Club kicks off. We have a full soccer season, a season of college football, other sports, and live music. So really exciting time, and we're looking forward to getting it going.
We only have a few more seconds here, but I wanted to just squeeze in one more quick one from a reader. This is one I wasn't expecting, but for you, what is the outlook for esports events in Charlotte? Does Tepper Sports have any interest or investments in esports that we can look forward to?
In terms of esports, we're starting to look at this, and this is a growing force. Lots of young people. I have gamers in my family. I used to be a gamer when I was a teenager, and now I have children who are, and so I relate to it. We know that there are thousands and thousands in our region who are playing. We see the growth of events, multiple titles, and so we're paying attention. We will be open to partnerships that can help bring great events to Charlotte in that way. So we have nothing to announce or nothing we're doing yet, but we think it's a really exciting part of the live event business, and we're eager to learn more and see how we can help it grow.
That's super exciting, and I'm very eager to learn more as those decisions get made down the road. Tom, thank you so much for joining us. This has been really cool to touch base and hear about what all you're working on, sort of the excitement going on at Bank of America Stadium as y'all prepare to welcome back more fans, really sooner than we all. The football season will be here before we know it. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this. We really appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Katie.
Thank you all for joining us this afternoon for another virtual conversation that has made everyone smarter, faster. Thank you to our sponsor, Bojangles, for making this event possible. For more information or to sign up for Axios Charlotte, visit axios.com/newsletters or on the Axios app. Also, if you're interested in sponsoring an event with Axios, visit axios.com/advertise for more information. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you on axios.com.